Hello there and welcome to another ReadyTalk Flex setup menu. This time we're concentrating on the network options page, and this particular page allows you to select the interface that you want to use on your host PC, as well as SIP port and reconnection times, RTP port and timeout settings, intercom settings if you're going to use the intercom, stun server which can help the SIP protocol find its way across a network, and AGS emergency acknowledgement setup. Alright, let's go to ReadyTalk. So here I am in a ReadyTalk Flex console. Down the bottom left hand corner we have the setup button. Click on setup. Brings the settings window up. You might have to adjust that window size to suit yourselves. Now we find the network options button. Click on the network options button. And this shows the settings for network options. Now the first one here is the network device. Now you can usually leave this at Windows default, which is what I've got here, or if you have a number of network interfaces you might like to choose which one you're going to actually use. I've only got one interface on my host PC here, so I'm using the Windows default. Next is the SIP port. Now the SIP port is the port that ReadyTalk Flex is going to listen on for incoming SIP messages from the other end. So we can leave that one at 5060, that's the normal port number used for SIP. If you need to change it you can, not a problem. Now auto reconnect means that if the SIP connection is lost, then ReadyTalk Flex will attempt to reconnect to the gateway again after a certain reconnect timeout. If you don't want that to happen, if you lose connection and you want to manually reconnect yourself, then put that at no. But normally we can leave that at yes, and our reconnect time of 6 seconds is usually a fairly good value. But once again, you can change this reconnect time of 6 seconds to something else. Next is the voice over IP, RTP port. Now the RTP port, default of 40,000, once again you can leave that at default, but this is the port that the very first channel that makes a connection when you first start up ReadyTalk, that's the receive port that ReadyTalk Flex will assign to it. If you then open up another channel, it would be 40,002 and so on. So it's the very first port number that will be used by ReadyTalk Flex after starting to receive RTP information from the remote gateway. So once again we can leave that at the default of 40,000, that's no problem. Inactivity timeout. Now with the RTP stream, if it doesn't receive any RTP packets after a certain time, it will think that the connection is gone and try and reconnect again. So this inactivity timeout of 40 seconds is our default timeout. So if we don't get any RTP activity after 40 seconds, then it will try and reconnect again. Allow PTT when busy. If you're using a full duplex type of gateway, then you would have to select that to yes. Normally we want half duplex and we would probably leave that at no. But if you want to talk and listen at the same time, you need a yes there. I'm going to leave mine at no. Next on the list is intercom. Now ReadyTalk Flex consoles can intercom each other. It's a fairly simple broadcast type of affair where one person presses their intercom button and all the other consoles can hear it. Now it does this by sending RTP or voice over IP on a multicast address, and when we enable it by clicking yes here, we are presented with a default multicast address of 239.192.0.1. I would recommend you leave it at this address, but if you want to, you can change it to some other type of multicast address. Now the port number that the ReadyTalk Flex will listen on for incoming intercom audio is 41,000. Once again, you can leave that at the default or change it to something else if you so desire. So if you don't want it, click on no. If you want it, click on yes. And now we come to the stun setup. The stun server allows the SIP protocol to work over network address translation. If, for example, you've got some radio gateways out on a wide area network somewhere and ReadyTalk Flex is behind a firewall on its own little local network, and the only way to get into this local network is through one IP address, then you may need to use a stun server for your SIP protocols to work. So we enable it by making sure this is yes, or we disable it by clicking on that one. I'm going to enable it, and the server IP address can be put into this field here, or you can use a fully qualified domain name. I've just got an IP address of a server that's on another network to where I am at the moment. Now the port number, normally stun servers will listen on port 3478, which is the default, so generally speaking you can leave it at that port number. And now we're left with the server emergency acknowledgement. In GPS Essentials, ReadyTalk Flex normally keeps a database of GPS events. However, you can also have an external server for the GPS events as well, which will keep track of GPS events while ReadyTalk Flex is not operational. This is known as AGS, or Advanced GPS Server. Now ReadyTalk Flex can send an emergency acknowledgement to this server when the ReadyTalk Flex console operator acknowledges an emergency event. Now to enable this feature, make sure the checkbox shows yes, just like so, and then enter the IP address of the AGS server or the PC name of the AGS server. Then enter the port number that the AGS server will be listening on for incoming data from ReadyTalk Flex. This, by the way, is a TCP data connection. In my system, I'm going to leave that disabled. Well, that completes all the configuration items for the network options. If you have made any changes here, remember to click on Apply. Now we can close it down and use our ReadyTalk Flex console. Okay, thank you for that, and bye for now.